What's up, everybody? Jonathan here, back on Pacific Inlet today, and today we're just trying to really clean up the rest of what's left out here. There's not much left. In fact, I'm probably gonna hop in the tractor with the wood chipper on it here in a little bit and kind of go around and clean up the rest of the stuff. 'Cause I think most of what's on the ground now is some of the smaller stuff. I did go around the other day off camera and get a bit more of it chipped up, but there's just a few left. Here's a couple of big ones here, but most of them that are left are these smaller trees, and I've been chipping those up. See if I can grab these big trees. Now, unfortunately, there's been some, I guess, in my opinion, as far as Farming Simulator 17 goes, there's been a bit of sad news. FDR Logging has decided that he's had enough of everybody complaining about his mods, so he shut down his public release of mods. He's going to be doing them Patreon release only now, which, I mean, they're going to get leaked anyway, but to get his mods, supposedly now you have to pay for them. I mean, I can't imagine how he's going to do that, because, I mean, you know, if he's releasing them to Patreons, and the Patreons aren't trustworthy or whatever, they're going to release them to the public anyway. They're going to get out there one way or the other. But, you know, I read a post on Facebook by him not too long ago, and he's basically just fed up with everybody complaining about his mods, and you know, he always is under the belief that, you know, this is just a game, and that, well, you know, which it is, but some of the people that were complaining about his mods aren't realistic, or maybe they should be doing this or doing that, which, you know, at some point, constructive criticism is good, but when it reaches another point, then it becomes hurtful. So he's just decided that he's had enough, and from now on all of his mods are going to be released under the Patreon model, which means you have to pay, I think it's $5 a month is the lowest one, and then the next one up I think is like a $10 a month, which does something else. I think you maybe get access to something else, I can remember. But anyway, so FDR Logging was one of the ones that was putting out a lot of free forestry stuff. In fact, when we get back over to our landing, I've got the grapple loader is FDR, and the log trailers that I use are also FDR. And in fact, this map that I'm playing right now is FDR Logging, so in case you didn't know, this is the Pacific Inlet map, which you should know if you've been watching my channel long enough. You should know that we're on the Pacific Inlet map. I've only been playing this map since, oh gosh, can't remember now. It's just been a long time. Okay, I'm just kind of looking to see if there's anything left over here. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk about FDR shutting down his public stuff, because I wanted to bring up the fact that, you know, a lot of times I'm seeing a lot with the younger people, and whoa, younger is what I'm talking. I'm gonna say less than 30 something, okay? For all you less than 30 somethings out there, and there may be a lot of you out there that are less than 30 something and don't feel this way, but for those that do, a lot of the younger folks these days, you know, they're conditioned to getting everything they want now, and you know, that's unrealistic in a lot of cases, because let me explain something. These mods, and I have looked at modding myself. Creating these mods takes a long time. Scripting the mods takes a long time, and you know, when you're at a point to where you're wanting to release mods to the public, you've put hours and hours and hours into these mods, building them, and yes, you're releasing them for free, but that doesn't give people who aren't grateful the right to bash your mods and, just give you a hard time over something that you're putting a lot of effort into for the betterment of this community, which is Farming Simulator. And so I totally understand where he's at. I mean, I've taken some folks' mods and kind of tinkered around with, you know, doing stuff in Blender and Giants Editor and things like that, and it's a lot of work. I've looked at modding myself, but I have to think that I would only want to do it for myself, because I mean, if I'm putting in all that time, I just don't know if I'd want to release it to the public for everybody to bash me about, well, it didn't do this and didn't do that. Well, I didn't build it for you. I built it for me. But anyway, I just hope that everybody who watches my videos has the understanding of how much time and effort goes into some of these things, and to to not be grateful is not the right attitude to have. And I was keeping up a lot lately, or not lately, but used to keep up quite a bit with FDR logging, and was watching his forums on his. Before he had his website, he had a forum page, and a lot of people were making suggestions and good stuff. But again, it kind of gets to a point to where whenever you don't take the time to go read up on what you're asking, it gets so frustrating. Because I mean, imagine if you have one question for someone, and there's thousands of people out there that have the same question, and they all ask the same question. Take 2 minutes, do a Google search, look up on his forums, read about it before you ask a dumb question, because most likely that question's already been asked somewhere. That's so frustrating. Is if you've been watching my channel, you realize that I've gotten the game Gold Rush. Okay, so Gold Rush, the game, is being made, or was made and still is being polished by a company, I believe, out of Poland, if I'm correct. They're not even in the United States, so their English probably isn't that great to begin with. And another thing is, there towards the end of the game's release, right before the release, they actually got in touch or were contacted by Gold Rush, the TV show. And so they had been, I believe, well, right before they made the announcement of when the release date was. I don't think they were planning on doing it when they did it. I think they were actually planning on a later release date, if I had to guess. But with the new season of Gold Rush on TV coming out, they were probably asked to release it with the new season, and I don't think the game was entirely ready. So they released it early, and everybody's been bashing these guys about how terrible the game is. It doesn't run right. All this stuff needs to be fixed. And I've subscribed to a Facebook group where you can make comments about the game, and they give updates on when the next game fix is going to be and stuff like that. And I don't know how many times that I have seen it asked and seen it answered is, when is it coming on console? And people, look, you go to www.google.com and you can find anything you want to on the internet. Okay, so you take 2 minutes and you search Gold Rush the game on console, and you will find your answer. It's so stupid. I'm getting so tired of people asking that question over there. But it's the same thing here. I'm sure that FDR was like, well, when's this next mod going to be released? And he's probably got asked that 1,000 times, and so I can totally understand. So I guess my message right here is, just for the people that actually release mods public now, just be patient, and read up before you answer or ask a question, and you probably find your answer. And so I'm just going to move on from this subject. I'm kind of a bit wound up about that because, you know, FDR was one of the few that was out there making public release mods, and they're pretty good too. This grandpa loader right here is really nice. I was using way back one of his processors, but I found this Tiger Cat one and I like it a lot. So I've been going with that one. But you know, the trailers that I use for the log trailers, those were made by FDR, and like I said, this map is FDR, and he's got a lot of good maps out there, and I just hate to see him not release those to the public. And I have to understand that, you know, he's under a lot of, or just frustrated in general, I suppose, about all the silly questions and stuff he gets asked, I'm sure. Okay, so I have done quite a bit of work in the in between videos here. And if you notice, my log trucks aren't here. In fact, here they are right here. I've got all three of them loaded up and ready to be sold. I almost messed up and drove this first one through to sell. I was almost to the point of no return, and I hit the brakes just in time, but because I wanted everybody to see, you know, the log trucks going through and see the loads. But anyway, we're going to get fired up here and let's get these logs sold. And I think the prices are still pretty good. The last time I looked, they were still about 300 or so, which isn't great, but it's, yeah, 301. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these sold, and then I'll show you what I've been doing over on landing number 1. Make sure I park my truck a good ways back so we don't hit them with the trees as we're processing them. And we'll take a look and see what the prices did. So it was $301 before we sold all that wood, and let's see if it changed any. That's still 301. Okay. Yeah, those things tend to fluctuate. Like, it goes down as you sell a lot of wood, but we haven't really been selling a lot lately. But this map over here on this right side especially is starting to look pretty barren. I mean, it's looking pretty, we got a lot of it cut, I tell you. That's been a lot of work too. I've got, golly, I forget now. I just saw it when I was getting the game fired up. I think I got 240 something hours on this map. Alright, now let's take a look over at our feller buncher. There we go. Okay, so just a quick little tour. This is landing number 1. You can see the flashing green dot there just to the left of all of our equipment. I decided to start here just because we were sort of here already. All you gotta do is track my machines and stuff right over the side of the road and we're good to go. So I got ahead, got started cutting, and I went just kind of straight back from the landing. And what I was gonna do was, if you look on the map, oh actually no, that's the wrong way. I didn't start there, I ended up here. Let's see, where did I start at? I think it was back over this way somewhere. Oh yeah, so I went right up the side of this hill to start with. So what I'm going to do is, so if you look at my flashing green dot there at number 1, you can see which direction I'm pointed. I'm going to try to go straight over to that dirt road that goes up to Mongachua Mountain, or whatever the heck it's called, M Mountain. So you can see I've already cut a bunch of trees, and I skirted around this little ravine here and went up the side of it and back down, and I'm continuing over to try to meet up with that dirt road. And I just kind of cut a swath down through here, and you can see the road already. So, oh, there's another floating tree. I forgot about that. And then I went down the road and just kind of cut off the side of the road, threw them over there on the left-hand side for the most part. And then, well, anyway, I made it all the way down to the about directly south of the number 1. I made it about that far, and then I cut back to the north to come back up to this spot here. So what I did was I just kind of made a big sort of square, and then we'll come back later and cut from where my pointer is back this way. We'll cut all that, yeah, back to there. So from there back that way, believe it or not, it's kind of a square. Doesn't look it, but it is. And then from here all the way back to there is from number 1 due south and then east. So from the road coming in at number 1 due south of where we're at is sort of another area. And then we're up at number 2, landing number 2. We're doing wood chips up there, so I'm probably gonna have to move from landing number 1 more towards landing number 2 eventually, but I don't know, we'll figure that out. But anyway, for right now, what I thought we'd do is, since we've kind of got this area finished up, I just want to grab the tractor with the wood chipper and go around and try to clean up everything for sure. And then there's just a few more trees that needs to be cut, not many at all. I'll probably chip those because I think they're all small trees. So I'm just gonna go back around and chip up some stuff. Kind of get everything cleaned up. And I don't think I'm gonna skid anything else over here on this side unless there's a little group of big trees, but everything else I think I'm just gonna chip up. There's one big one there, but there's a pretty good little group of big trees right there. I think I'm gonna leave that one and I'll come back and get that. That'll be probably the last one that we do. Those are pretty good sized trees too, but we need to be moving on. We got other things to do. Well, gosh, there's one more set of one more group of big trees over there. Okay, well, we'll get that too. Maybe we can get all that in one go. I forgot I already cut that tree. Didn't fall the first time. There we go. Now there is some bigger trees back here, so I think I'm gonna skid those up too. Golly, there's more back here than I thought there was. I didn't come back here and check it out real good. So we will probably have to get a couple more trees, or a couple more loads of trees skidded up from back this area. I think I'm going to leave my tractor over here so I can see where I'm at. Sometimes it's hard to figure out where the trees are. Let's see if I can't get this tree cut that's in the ground. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. Oh, yeah, well. You might as well not waste that one, huh? Looks like I need to increase the horsepower just a little bit more. Of course, I've got, let's see, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 logs. They're all big logs, so it's pretty heavy load. But I think I need to increase the horsepower just a little bit more. I went into the XML, found the motor section, and just did a little tweaking. If you want to figure out how to do that yourself, I'll try to remember to put a link in the description below, but I found a YouTube video of a guy that was showing how to do it, and it's pretty easy. Just find the motor section of the XML for the mod itself, and you just change a few little things. It wasn't hard at all. Looks like I need to tweak it just a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna go round up one more load of some of the big stuff, and then we'll get busy processing these logs. So I would like to today, before we finish up, and I think we'll have time, is to get the rest of these trees processed, and maybe not loaded, but at least processed, so I can then move my machines over to the other landing, over to number 1. So I would like to get that done today. Let's see. I think I want it to go this way. Alright, now we can get busy processing these logs. Trees. Trees into logs. And let's see if we can't get everything finished up. I do want to kind of clean this up some though. I need to do a lot of stuff actually. See if I can't get these logs off of the processor. Alright, that might work. Now I am going to be stopping at some point to get some trucks loaded, because if I start to get too many logs up here at the landing, it gets a little bit crazy. I get a lot of frame rate drops and weird stuff happening. Whoops. Wow. Yeah, see, I'm already starting to get a lot of frame rate drops and stuff, just because there's so many trees in this one place. That's why I'm saying I think we may have to load up a truck or two first, and then come back and try to finish up. Alright, let's see if we can't get a few trucks loaded up first before we continue. I don't want to have any more trees go flying. Okay, so I'm gonna. I don't know how many times I've said this, but I'm gonna try my best from now on to not buy any more equipment. If we have to, it's gonna be because I'm either upgrading or getting a new version of something. Which, if it's FDR, it won't be FDR anymore. But yeah, so I'm just gonna really try hard not to buy anything else from now on. So all we're doing is just strictly harvesting and making money, and we'll see what we end up with at the very end. Yeah, that knocked the pile down pretty good. See if I can get this one stray log out of here. You can already see the difference, or at least I can. It makes a big difference not having so many trees in one place. Alright, well I think we just about got everything cleaned up out here, and if there's anything left I'll come back a little bit later and get it cleaned up off camera, but I think this is just about it right here. If there's anything left, we don't like much. Oh yeah, that one tree that we let loose over here somewhere. I think that's it right there on the right, and this one here is just another smaller tree. Alright, so we're bound to have a full wood chip trailer by now. Let's go unload this thing. And let's see, we won't worry about that right now. Let me see if let's probably get another truck loaded. But it's looking like I'm not going to have time to do all this today. Tell you what, so in between videos, I'm going to get these trucks loaded up and get the rest of these logs processed and loaded. And so next time when we come back, we'll be ready to move the equipment across the street. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here for now, and I'll get this truck loaded, and like I said, the rest of them, try to get them loaded up, and the rest of these logs or trees processed into logs here at the landing. And we're probably going to end up having to keep the grapple loader here just maybe one more video, because I'll need to finish processing those trees. And then it looks like we got about let's see, I think there's about 2 loads right there, and we're probably about another load or a load and a half with what's left at the processor. So anyway, we'll get that all fixed up, and so for next time we will be moving across the street hopefully. But thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you hadn't already, and this is Jonathan on Pacific Inlet. Have a good one.